Hey y'all, welcome to the Southern Appalachian Herbal Podcast. I'm Judson Carroll and I'm an herbalist. I'm also a wild crafter, a gardener, and herb grower. I'm coming to you from high atop the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, just a stone's throw from the Tennessee line, overlooking the Pisgah National Forest. Absolutely surrounded by the bounty of God's green earth. I spent most of my life wandering these mountains and learning about plants from the old-timers and all sorts of characters. On this show, we'll talk about herbs and how to use them, how to find them, how to grow them, how to make preparations. We'll talk about a lot of things. We can also talk about permaculture, homesteading, foraging, and living off the land. Most anything, really. You can email me at southernappalachianherbs@gmail.com if you have a question or a comment. You can also contact me through the Grow Network, where I'm a regular contributor and a moderator for the forums. And my blog is, of course, southernappalachianherbs@blogspot.com. All right, y'all. I'm going to sit my guitar down and let's talk about herbs.
Hey y'all, welcome to this week's show. We will get into the herb of the week in here just a moment, and it's a good one. You're going to really like this one. But first of all, I want to say I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you celebrate American Thanksgiving, and if you don't, we're still in the holiday season, and a lot of us are eating a little more than we should and drinking a little more than we should. I know I am. And the herb for this week is a really good one for digestion, for helping with like a full, bloated feeling, overeating, settling a stomach, and for liver health. Really good herb. It is basically thistle, and there's so many varieties of thistle that are mostly wild. A few, of course, we cultivate, such as the artichoke. All of them are great. But we'll go ahead and start with the recipes. Of course, having just had a huge turkey and only 2 people to eat it, I've been eating a lot of turkey. And it's delicious. I did a smoked turkey this year. And, so many of the side dishes. I told you about the dressing and sweet potato pudding and corn and so many good things. Desserts and vegetables and side dishes and potatoes and everything that goes with it. The cranberry sauce and all the trimmings. I absolutely love Thanksgiving dinner. I really do. But now it's time. We got a couple things going on. We got to use up some of that leftover turkey. And hopefully you take the carcass from your turkey and boiled it down and made a good turkey stock or broth. It's actually a broth because it has meat in it. It's not just bones, So we're going to use this turkey broth, and we're going to use some of the leftover turkey meat for the first recipe. This is so easy. It's a casserole. In my book, The Omnivore's Guide to Home Cooking, I have the cream of anything soup recipe. That same cream of anything soup recipe is the base for casserole. It's casserole of anything. Cream soups and casseroles are a technique, not a recipe. So you can literally use whatever you have on hand. So first, as with so many recipes, we make a roux. Equal parts flour and fat. Butter is, usually the go-to. You can't beat butter. If you wanted to use a little of that turkey fat, some of that schmaltz, you could definitely do it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's a good way to use that valuable fat that often gets discarded when you make your broth or you take the drippings from your pan and make your gravy, which hopefully you do. You want to separate out, a lot of that fat. So anyway, let's say about 2 tablespoons each. And we're just going to stir that together and just get it cooked through. This does not want to be brown like a gravy. It's a light tan will be just fine. Just get the raw taste out of the flour. And we're going to add to that milk and stir that together, and that becomes your cream of base. That's it. It's literally that simple. Never buy condensed soup in a can again. Not cream of mushroom, not cream of chicken, not cream of celery. Never, because you can make it that easy. Now, to this, Of course, I'm going to add some chopped mushrooms and onions. And, I probably would have sauteed these ahead of time. Maybe in the same pan where I made my roux. Just push it to the side and make your roux in there. But that's going to be my base, chopped mushrooms and onions. Get them cooked in and make a nice cream of mushroom soup with some onion. Well, salt and pepper to taste. And you can eat it as is right there, right? But we're going to make a casserole. So we've added like a cup of milk. Let's go with a cup plus, let's say, of the turkey broth. It depends on how big a casserole you're making. You're going to make a nice sized pot of soup, so at least 2 cups of liquid. Probably 3 or 4 would be even better. But this is going to cook down into a thick sauce. So don't go overboard with it. Just eyeball it. Just, judge it. Be your own judge on it. So that's it. Now you've got a cream of turkey soup with mushrooms and onions, which is the fantastic base for making a casserole. Salt and pepper to taste. Go real light on that salt because, as it evaporates, it's going to, it's going to get salty. The salt's going to be more concentrated. So under salt because we're cooking this down. I wouldn't say under pepper. I don't think you can over pepper, at least to my taste. Of course, I'm going to add some parsley to that because I add parsley to everything. The basics of the recipe now is just to take your turkey, chopped or shredded up, put it in a casserole dish with whatever vegetables you like, and pour that cream of mixture over it. Pop it in the oven and bake it at about 350 until it's thick and a casserole. But of course, we're going to do more than that. Let's look at what we got left over from the holiday around the kitchen. You got some green beans? Throw them in there. Celery? Cook it down with the onions. Perfect. I love cream of celery flavor as well. What else you might have? Some green peas, some carrots, corn. Corn is absolutely fantastic. So, the vegetables are totally up to you, whatever you got. Another variation I often do when I'm not using other vegetables per se is a good tablespoonful of poppy seeds and a couple tablespoons full of sour cream. It makes the casserole a little more fluffy, I guess you would say, and it gives it sort of that sourness of the sour cream and kind of brightens it up a little bit. And the poppy seeds are nice and crunchy, and they give it such a good flavor. And of course, you combine poppy seeds with turkey, and yes, you might take a little nap afterwards. You're going to get a little tryptophan and just a tiny little bit of opium in those poppy seeds, actually. So, if you have a problem with opioids, maybe you want to not use that. And if so, chia seeds or amaranth seeds. A lot of those things are a really good substitute just for the crunch. Now, we can put breadcrumbs across the top. If you do breadcrumbs across the top, a little drizzle of oil will help them brown up nicely. Cheese, any cheeses you like across the top. And as you can see, it is a cream of anything casserole, and we're going to do it with some good turkey broth and turkey meat. And, oh, man, that's really... I look forward to that as much as I do that first, drumstick off the turkey when it just comes out of the oven or the smoker. I love that casserole, and I could eat it. I do eat it regularly with turkey and chicken throughout the year, and etc. Now, okay, so you've been eating heavy, and maybe you're getting a little tired of turkey. Well, one reason that it's become traditional for many people during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and such, when we're eating these big traditional, really English style meals, they're heavy. They're what they call stodgy food in England. Early American food, delicious. Come on, gravy. Like I've said before, gravy is basically a beverage in the South. You give me a plate of mashed potatoes and gravy, and I don't even care what else I have. Seriously, I would just literally sit there and eat probably 5 pounds of mashed potatoes and gravy. I love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, asparagus, that's another great addition in that casserole. It's going to have a dominant flavor. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. But a tradition for many people is like maybe a day or two after the holiday meal, go get Chinese food. Well, why is that? Well, it changes the palate. It refreshes. It's so very different in the flavors. So, I was getting maybe a little tired of having the same meal, at least twice a day, every day since I actually started last Monday when I smoked that turkey. So I've literally eaten like Thanksgiving dinner every day for a week now. And last night I remembered another recipe that's in my book that, it's so easy, super cheap, simple. I'm down staying with my mother for Thanksgiving. And Yeah, I'll probably be here mostly through Christmas, back and forth. There is not a decent Chinese restaurant in this county. There used to be a very good one, but each year quality got worse. It just got worse and worse until I finally had to tell the guy. And I mean, it was the family owned. The guy's a great cook, but I mean, he started using veg all out of the can, and I mean, just cheaping out on everything. It's really because of the clientele. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, people just didn't appreciate his cooking. And so his prices kept going up and his quality kept going down. And he's basically selling a lot of uh, fried chicken and such now. I mean, not even Chinese food. He's got some. Well, anyway, it's really kind of bizarre, but it's the clientele he's catering to. And I had to tell him, I can't eat here anymore. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss your family, but I cannot. I can't spend another penny for this. And he understood. He knew. So anyway, when you haven't got access to a good Chinese restaurant, here's something you can make for pennies, which is going to give you that good flavor. And I mean, literally 5 cents for a meal. I don't even know if it's that much. It's going to give you that good kind of Chinese flavor that kind of perks it up. It's my own version of an Asian style noodle dish. Okay. Like when you go to, especially a cheap Chinese restaurant, you order lo mein, it's not going to be like actual Chinese lo mein noodles. They just got the generic spaghetti from the store down the street. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's really no difference between lo mein and spaghetti noodles. Except like the length and shape. I mean, essentially, lo mein noodles will be a little more curly when they're cooked, where spaghetti's going to be straight. But I mean, no one pays any attention to that. It's essentially the same thing. Now, I actually prefer rice noodles. I love rice noodles. But anyway, you can do it with either. I did it last night with macaroni. I'm serious. I had like, a half box of macaroni found in my mother's pantry. And I'm like, do you mind if I cook some noodles? She's like, nah, go ahead. So I fixed like, a cup of macaroni noodles. Just, boil them salted water till they're done to your taste. I like them a little al dente, as they say, a little chew to them. Drain them, set them to the side. In a pan, put in a little oil, whatever oil you like. I would not go straight sesame oil on this, or it just smell it for days. So maybe olive oil, canola oil, peanut oil would be much more traditional. If you have peanut oil, like leftover from frying a turkey, use your peanut oil. Anyway, it's up to you. If you prefer a healthier oil, use a healthier oil. I wouldn't go with butter. Or I mean, this is a fat where you really do want like a thin oil. So anyway, a little oil in the pan, chopped up green onion or scallion. Go heavy on it. A couple cloves of crushed garlic. Maybe a mushroom or two chopped up. Seriously, that's simple. Maybe a little chopped cabbage. Cook it in the oil with salt. Throw in a little crushed red pepper. And when that's done, put your noodles in there. Start, kind of stir fry them around with the vegetables in your pan, top with sesame oil and soy sauce. And that's fantastic. I mean, it will cleanse that palate. It will give you that, good Chinese food flavor. And I mean, seriously, it doesn't cost hardly anything. I mean, you're not going to pay 10 cents a plate for that. And that's even if you use the good soy sauce. I mean, I love my dark mushroom soy sauce. Don't have access to it around here. They don't even sell it around here. A little Chinese hot pepper oil. I mentioned that a few days ago. If you want it like really spicy, you can add a little bit of ginger. That would also be very traditional. The combination of garlic, green onions, and ginger with a little sesame oil and soy sauce is like the base flavor. Probably most of us think of when we think of Chinese food. I mean, that's essentially everything from an egg roll to wonton soup to, I don't even know. Yeah, I'm just blanking on the names of Chinese dishes, but yeah, that's just super simple, super simple, super cheap, and of course, it's also good to have a salty snack around, and you got some sesame oil anyway, so why not make some spiced peanuts? I grew up on a peanut farm. I am so not happy with the quality of peanuts that I'm finding in the store. I mean, even Planters cocktail peanuts, which were always like the best, they have cut so back on the salt and the oil that they're just like dry, flavorless peanuts. I cannot buy any peanuts in the store anymore that I like. I like an oily, fried, salted, real peanut. the way they used to be when we were kids, back when people used to have them with cocktails, and that flavor component was meant to go with a mixed drink, or really more like just a straight bourbon or a scotch or something. That works. That works. Now these dry, flavorless peanuts do not work for me. So sesame oil is perfect to work with your peanuts. It gives it a light coating, and it has that nutty flavor. I usually get the toasted sesame oil, so it has a little darker flavor, 'cause I like dark flavors essentially. And you can spice them with anything. If you want to stick with the Chinese theme, use Chinese 5-spice. If you want to mix up your own spices, go for it. I usually use Tony Chachere's, my standard go-to, just run-of-the-mill Creole seasoning. It's got plenty of salt in it, unless you get the low salt, which is actually a better quality. And if you do that, you want to add a little salt to the mix. But I mean, you can spice them with anything. I mean, the sky's the limit. You can put sugar in there if you want to. You can spice them with ginger and cinnamon. I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. Basically, whatever dry spices, not herbs now, unless it's a pre-made mix like Tony Chachere's, which is herbs and spices. Dry spices and a little oil. This is how simple it is. I'm going to give you the instructions for the microwave, because everybody's pretty much got access to a microwave. You could certainly do this in the oven as well. But so in a microwave, just take a cup of your lousy peanuts, put them in a bowl, put just a few drops of oil in there, and kind of turn them around, toss them, make sure they're all coated. Pop them in the microwave, a regular, whatever your regular cooking temp is, for like 15 seconds. Take them out, sprinkle on your spice mix, toss them around, or take a spoon and stir them around, pop them back in for 15 seconds. Boom. Excellent, wonderful, delicious peanuts, the way peanuts ought to taste. And I mean, everybody goes crazy about them. Seriously. I guess if you had to do it in the oven, you'd probably want to, I don't know, put them in a pie pan or something, maybe a baking sheet, anything, an oven-proof, a casserole dish. It doesn't matter. And just put them in there at, probably about 350. Just don't let them burn. Peanuts, all nuts, if you smell them burn, they've gone too far. If they smell like they're starting to go, they're gone. So you put them in for maybe 10 minutes, oiled, and then stir them around, put the seasoning in, go back in for no more than 10 more minutes. Toaster oven, probably cut that time in half, and use the oven setting and not the toaster setting, because they'll burn really quick. So that's it. You could do them in a frying pan, on the stove. It's just keep that. You got to be real careful with nuts, because like I said, when they burn, and then they're gone. So if you've ever toasted pecans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But fried peanuts, what a great snack. And that, you keep that kind of going, snack on that throughout the day, and that'll refresh your palate as well. It kind of keeps stimulating those digestive juices. So speaking of which, the thistles. As I mentioned, there are many thistles. You may be, if you're into herbal medicine, you may be very aware of milk thistle. Milk thistle is the most liver protective herb there is. It can actually protect the herb from mushroom poisoning, like Amanita mushroom poison. This has actually been proven in clinical studies in Germany, that the Amanita just turns your liver to jelly. That's how it kills you. The milk thistle in fairly large doses, standardized extract, has been shown to protect the liver from that damage. Can protect the liver from all kinds of things that might damage it, from solvents to alcohol and all that. That's probably the strongest one in the family. And there are actually a couple families that are kind of lumped into the thistle category, but I'm mainly talking about the Sericium species here. But artichoke is one. Cardoon is one. Blessed thistle. Blessed thistle is also liver protective. It's one of the oldest herbs used in herbal medicine. Goes way back, and both the milk thistle and the blessed thistle are named those for the Christian connotation. The blessed thistle was it the army of, was it Charlemagne or Constantine? I think it may have been Constantine on this one. So Holy Roman Emperor marching into battle, and the plague hits. A bad virus hits his army, and the legend says that I guess it was Saint Raphael the Archangel showed him the plant and said, use this plant to cure your soldiers, and it did. The milk thistle is named after the Blessed Virgin Mary. It said that some of her milk fell on the plant. If you ever look at the plant, it looks like it's speckled with milk. But that's how important both of these herbs are to traditional herbal medicine, that they're considered to be like divine gifts from God. But there's, like I said, there's so many. Plume thistle comes to mind. Oh gosh, Canada thistle, bull thistle. That one's around a lot where I live. Um, Purple thistle, spiny thistle, yellow thistle. Yeah, there are a lot. Several varieties are used medicinally and have similar characteristics. Thistles are widespread, generally growing in poor soil. Like, how widespread are they? Well, that's actually like the national symbol of Scotland. It's like the bull's thistle. To just, I'm about to read from Dioscorides in ancient Greek. I mean, they're widely used in China. They're widely used in the Americas. I mean, yeah, wherever you live, you're going to find a thistle. And the great thing about it is they're all generally medicinal and they're all generally edible. I mean, you go out. Oh, there's so many places around where I live where I can go out and just find these huge bull thistles and sow thistles and such as that. And whereas the bulb of the flower isn't like developed like an artichoke, where you're eating what do you call it? Well, I guess it wouldn't be the petals. What were these, sepals? Would those be sepals? I don't know. You pull the choke out and you basically eat the base of the flower. With most of these thistles, the flower is not that large or developed. Um, Really, with the exception would be the cardoon. I mean, the cardoon is like the original wild version of the artichoke, and I mean, it was propagated because it had the larger flowers. Most of these you're actually going to peel the stalk, and the peeled stalk basically tastes just like artichoke, which is like literally one of my favorite flavors. So I love to pickle them, I love to saute them, I love to make soups, I love to make casseroles out of them. So, this is one of my favorite wild edibles, actually. So, I mean, I love artichoke, so like asparagus. These are some of my favorite flavors. But anyway, Pliny wrote thistles mainly as food. So, I mean, that history of eating thistles goes back as far as time, really, and it actually probably saved the lives of many of the Jews in the ghettos of Italy, because they they used the artichoke essentially as survival food, and artichokes and garlic were a big part of their diet in hard times, and that would be during persecutions or plagues or famines. And really, a great dish does come from that set of Jews. I don't know exactly, you know, what name they go by, but it's deep fried artichokes in olive oil, and it's so good. It's so crispy, and I mean, yeah, really, really good. Little sea salt on there, and I mean, oh wow, yeah, that's like a adult carnival food. Anything deep fried. Well, deep fried vegetables happen to be a favorite of mine. I love fried artichokes. I love fried mushrooms. I love fried squash, breaded and fried. I make up a little sauce of mayonnaise with horseradish and a dash of Worcester sauce, whatever it's called, and just mix that up. And sometimes a dash of soy sauce, but no, normally it's going to be Worcester sauce, and dip that in there. And I mean, I can eat that morning till night. I mean, seriously, deep fried vegetables in that. Not all vegetables, obviously. I wouldn't want a deep fried carrot, but a mushroom or squash, especially. That's probably one of the primary ways I eat a lot of squash and zucchini and such as that is fried. I'm Southern. We fry things. Anyway, Pliny wrote of his mainly food. Dioscorides called the carline thistle Chamaelion leucos. White chamaelion or carline thistle. This is, carline's one of the most popular ones used in herbal medicine. Is called, well, we really don't need to know all the different names of it in different cultures, but he did say it had leaves similar to the salibum, which is milk thistle, and Cardus nutans, which was musk thistle. This is, remember I said Serisium is the main family we're looking at here, but the Cardus is so very similar. In many ways, they're just interchangeable. I mean, really. But anyway, let's see. He talks about, the purple thistles and the root is thick. Oh, and he said this was interesting. The root of this particular thistle is thick and has a somewhat aromatic, strong, sweet taste. And it was mixed with vinegar and taken as a drink to expel broadworms, which are parasitic worms. It is taken in hard wine with a decoction of oregano for dropsy. A teaspoon is given with wine to ease them. That's dropsy. What do we call it? Edema now. Anyway, a decoction is taken in a drink for frequent painful urination. All of these have diuretic properties. Many, I think all of them have probably been used for kidney stones and dropsy and such as that. And also, most, if not all, have some antibiotic properties for the urinary tract. So, for what he said, frequent painful urination, it's soothing to the urinary tract and can help with infections and such. Taken as a drink with wine as an antidote to poison. He doesn't say which kind of poison. Kneaded with polenta, which was basically just grain, ground grain. It's not the polenta we know today, which is basically fine ground grits. But anyway, taken as a drink with wine as an, we just said that. Let's see, kneaded with polenta and diluted with water and oil. It kills dogs, swine, and mice. Don't feed it to your dog, I guess. It is also called, we don't need to know that either. In the Middle Ages, several thistles were used in monastic medicine. St. Hildegard von Bingen recommended what she called lady's thistle, which was probably our milk thistle, which is associated with the Mother of God or Our Lady. She recommends lady's thistle for pain in the heart or a stitch in the side, a sharp pain in the side. She also recommended eating this thistle as an antidote for poison and used externally for rashes. Well, we know that the milk thistle is good to protect the liver. And so it's probably poisons that would affect the liver. Brother Aloysius tells us of thistles in German folk medicine. Blessed thistle, Canicus benedictus, is used for intermittent fevers, stomach complaints, wind, dropsy, jaundice, hypochondria, which is actually a swelling of the membrane in the chest, around the lungs and abdomen, not just complaining, which is kind of how we think of it these days. And irregular menstruation. Powder of the plant is recommended for sores. Infusion for wine, scrofulous tumors. Those are sort of infections of the glands around the throat usually. Excellent for weak stomach, intestines, lung, and liver complaints. Its tea cures diarrhea and weakness, also chronic diarrhea. Worms are killed by it, worms are killed by it for good, and it prevents them from multiplying as it stops the formation of mucus in the intestines. Carline thistle, Carlina vulgaris, root used as a stomatic, dissolves mucus, especially in cases of catarrh, pain in the side, nervous complaints, cleanses the intestines and kidneys, stimulates the appetite, is efficacious for hysteria, blockage of the liver and spleen, stones, and above all promotes menstruation. So you see that we're using the Canicus, C-N-I-C-U-S species interchangeably with the Carline, and we're just and essentially cerisum. Most of what you're going to find in the United States is going to be in the cerisum family, C-I-R-S-I-U-M. As best I can tell, before the the people that classify plants, a lot of our cerisums used to be categorized under the Carline and the Canicus, and now they kind of separated it out. Generally speaking, most of these plants can be used interchangeably, so I'm not going to really differentiate a whole lot as we go. Sophie Hodorowicz Nab tells us that in Poland, the Carline thistle has traditionally been used both as a remedy for impotence and to ward off the evil eye. Evil eye was apparently blamed for several ailments and annoyances, and even included tangled hair. So, ancient Polish folk tradition, they thought that there was someone that could put a curse on you that would cause you to even have tangled hair, and the Carline thistle had a religious connotation, as many of these thistles do. and it was used to ward off evil. Now, whether it has any actual effect, I can't. Uh, I know the evil eye is an ancient tradition in many cultures. It seems to have originated from the Middle East many thousands of years ago. So a lot of people from Israel to Egypt to Italy to apparently Poland still believe in the evil eye. Who am I to say, right? I'm just telling you what things are used for. Gerard lists Carline thistle as dwarf Carline thistle. And he gives a long description of it and the purple thistle flower and all that. But as far as its, and he said it could be used interchangeably with Cardus aculus, Chameleon albus, Clistus, which would be cistus now, Carlina major. See, again, these are so many used just so much interchangeably. And apparently Theophrastus had mentioned it. He said, the root of carline, which is officially used, is hot in the latter end of the second degree. I don't really know what that means, but also dry in the third. Well, I think, yeah, here's, okay. In the next paragraph, he kind of explains how that's useful medicinally. It's just old herbalist language. Don't worry about it. It goes back to the school of humors, which goes to ancient Greek medicine. He said, it procureth sweat. It would make you sweat. Driveth forth all kinds of worms from the belly. Is an enemy to all manner of poisons. It doth not only drive away infections of the plague, but also cureth the same if it be drunk in time. So, again, this is blessed thistle. I told her the story about how the angel was supposed to show it as a cure for the plague. Being chewed, it helped toothaches, openeth the stoppings of the liver and the spleen. It provoketh urine, bring down the menses, and cureth the dropsy. And it is given to those that have been dry beaten and fallen from some high place. So, if you got beat up or fell out of a tree, that was a cure at the time. I don't really know how. Probably that kind of dispersing quality. Maybe it helped with bruising. I can see that. In like operation, Dioscorides mentioned another thistle, essentially. The root being bitter and strong, which chewed eased the pain of the teeth. The decoction was a remedy against pain in the side and good for those who have sciatica or ache in the huckle bone, and for them that be troubled with cramp. Try as I might, I have not been able to ascertain which bone the huckle bone is. So, 1500s England, there was something called a huckle bone, and it ached. I don't know. But I got sciatica pretty bad, so I might give it a try for sciatica. The juice being also drunk is of like virtue. Likewise, Culpeper, 100 years later, mentions several thistles. Often under the common English name, absolutely impossible to know the Latin name for each and what specifically he meant. I think he may have named like 20 different thistles and used them all interchangeably, essentially. Miss Grieve must have had a different translation of Culpeper than I have, because her modern herbal said that he called the Carline thistle the wild Carline thistle, and that's not even listed in my copy of Culpeper's herbal. So, Culpeper vulgaris mean common. Let me try that again. Carlina vulgaris is the Carline thistle, she said. Which closely related to all the other thistles, she said, but assigned to a special genus of which is the sole representative in this country. So it's the only carline in England, being rather scarce except in chalk soil, which was more plentiful, rare in Scotland. She gives same description of it as the others. And she says that the Culpeper describes the wild Carline thistle as having flowers of fine purple. So he must have confused it with another species or given it the wrong name. So even she says that he even in her copy that listed the Carline thistle, she said it was absolutely unclear. She said the original name of this plant was Carolina, so called after Charlemagne. So it was the Holy Roman Emperor Charlemagne She gives the story, which I've already told you. But it's interesting. She gives a lot of interesting history, ancient names in the Anglo-Saxon culture, um, and the same uses as everybody else has already given. So I'll skip that for now. Interestingly, Tismail Crow, he's a Muskogee medicine man, a Native American herbalist. In his wonderful book, Native Plants and Healing, tells us that bull thistle is one of the primary herbs used by the Muskogee, and that's the most common thistle. Probably bull thistle and sow thistle are the two most common I have in my area. He said it is used for stings, bites, rashes, skin eruptions, and ulcerations as a wash or a poultice using a thick tea made from the roots. He states this tea is very useful for poison ivy, bee, and other insect stings, but the mash root is superior for skin ulcerations and to pull out stingers and splinters from the skin. He recommends a tincture of the whole plant for liver health, high blood pressure, I should say. Very interestingly, he says that a tincture made from the stems is used for those who have a too high of a metabolism, a condition indicated by sweating after eating and a fever. He also recommends a stem and leaf tea for fevers resulting from more common causes. This tea is also used for mouth and gum sores, and he says that a liniment made for the root is very helpful for rheumatism. So as you can see, our common bull thistle around here has many, if not all, the same uses as at least blessed thistle, lady's thistle, which could be milk thistle. Thistles are probably some are stronger than others, but a thistle is essentially a thistle as best I can ascertain. It does get a little confusing trying to figure them all out. Plants for Future says only that the roots and leaves are diuretic and purgative. Isn't that interesting? That's all they say. The roots and leaves are diuretic and purgative. The physician's desk reference for herbal medicine states that the medicinal part of the plant is the root. This is carline thistle they're back to. They say carline thistle is the root of Carlina aculis, not Carlina vulgaris, as Miss Greaves had said. I don't know. It states that the chief compound is the volatile oil Carlina oxide. The essential oil hinders growth of staphylococcus. Very interesting. It is mildly diuretic, spasmodic, and has diaphoretic effects, which means it helps break a fever. Under unproven uses, it lists, let's see, it continues to be used internally for atonic gastritis, dyspepsia, diseases of the biliary tract, colds and fevers. Externally, it is used as a wash for dermatosis and a rinse to wounds and ulcers, as a mouthwash to alleviate symptoms associated with cancer of the tongue. Interesting. No health hazards or side effects are known in conjunction with the proper administration of designated therapeutic dosages. So, carline thistle is literally one of many medicinal edible thistles. Like I said, they're all good. I'll give you just a few. What have I got? I've got listed here 38 different medicinal and edible plants that fall into the thistle category. Let me just see if I can run them through them real quick. Cardus crispus, welded thistle. Cardus natans, musk thistle. Carlina aculis, stemless carline thistle. Carlina vulgaris, carline thistle. Again, they confuse us, don't they? Carthamus lantanus, distaff thistle. Centaurea calctropa, common star thistle. And see, Carlina, the distaff thistle, distaff is an old word for weaving, and that could have been ladies' thistle because women did the weaving, and that was often an association made. Centaurea calctropa, common star thistle. Centaurea iberica, Iberian star thistle. Centaurea milatinus, Maltese star thistle. Wow. I wonder if it looks like a Maltese star. Interesting. Centaurea St. Barnaby thistle. That's another very commonly used thistle. It's supposed to bloom on St. Barnaby's Day and has a lot of legend. Here's another one. Quercibata. I'm going to go with that. Quercibita alpina, blue sow thistle. Serisium acuans, stemless thistle. Serisium arvents, creeping thistle. Serisium brevistimum, Indian thistle. Serisium atonia, Eaton thistle. Serisium edula, edible thistle. Well, all of them seem to be pretty much edible. Maybe that's one that was specifically grown for food in some part of the world. Be worth looking into because, like I said, these are delicious. Serisium erythorium, woody thistle. Serisium hookerianum, white thistle. Hooker was actually a botanist, so it's named after the guy that found it. So hookerianum. Serisium occidental, cobwebby thistle. That's interesting. Serisium ochrocentum, yellow spine thistle. Ochre is color yellow. Serisium oleaceum, cabbage thistle. That would have an oleaginous or an oily quality, probably to the seeds. No, probably to the sap, actually. Serisium palladium, pale thistle. Serisium palustra, marsh thistle. Palustra is old Latin for marsh. Serisium tuberosum, tuberous thistle, so it's going to have a big root. Serisium undulatum, wavy leaf, undulating leaves. This is how you figure out what these names mean. A little bit of Latin goes a long way. Serisium vulgare, that's common thistle. That's the one they kept calling, blessed thistle earlier, but apparently not anymore. Canicus benedictus, blessed thistle. Also, another one that was called the Carline thistle. So who knows? Echinopus rito, globe thistle. Echinops setifer, another globe thistle. Onoporium, and that's Scotch thistle. And Onoporium illicrium, cotton thistle. Salsola caliruthica, wow. Prickly Russian thistle, wow. There's a salvia. There's even a salvia in here. Salvia carduaceae, thistle sage. I have not encountered that one. Salvia is the sage family. Scallion maculatus, spotted globe thistle. Saliba marianum, that's milk thistle, or as Doc Jones always calls it, silly bum, but it's salibum. Sonchus arvensis, field milk thistle. Sonchus asper, prickly sow thistle. We get that one a lot. Sonchus kirkii, shore sow thistle, and Sonchus oleaceus, another sow thistle. That one would also have an oleaginous or an oily quality. So you can see how valuable these are. As food and medicine, and they really are considered weeds. People hate thistles. I don't understand why. They're some of our absolute most useful plants. So whether you're growing them in the garden or you learn to find them in the wild, get to know the I can't call them the thistle family because there's several plant families that are commonly called thistle, but all worth getting to know. And in that list, I didn't even mention cardoon and artichoke. Which they have the same medicinal properties and are absolutely delicious. And depending on where you live, you can probably grow either artichoke or cardoon. Cardoon's a little hardier. So check into that. Check it out, and enjoy it. Now, go fix some noodles or make a casserole, and have a glass of wine, and keep enjoying your holiday feasting. Actually, as a Catholic, this is actually the Feast of Christ the King, so it's a bonus feast day for me. So anyway, y'all, have a good one. I'll talk to you next time.
The information in this podcast is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease or condition. Nothing I say or write has been evaluated or approved by the FDA. I'm not a doctor. The U.S. government does not recognize the practice of herbal medicine, and there is no governing body regulating herbalists. Therefore, I'm really just a guy who studies herbs. I'm not offering any advice. I won't even claim that anything I write or say is accurate or true. I can tell you what herbs have been traditionally used for. I can tell you my own experience and if I believe an herb has helped me. I cannot nor would I tell you to do the same. If you use an herb anyone recommends, you are treating yourself. You take full responsibility for your health. Humans are individuals and no two are identical. What works for me may not work for you. You may have an allergy, a sensitivity, an underlying condition that no one else even shares and you don't even know about. Be careful with your health. By continuing to listen to my podcast or read my blog, you agree to be responsible for yourself, do your own research, make your own choices, and not to blame me for anything ever.